Hey, I'm Nick, and I'm going to be talking about pyroclastic flow today, what it is, how it forms, and just why I kind of think they're cool. First, I have a video here, and you'll get to see some lady running from a little cloud that's chasing her. It's pretty damn funny, but they also have some really good footage of what a pyroclastic flow looks like. So, it's all the internet here. So, if you don't like noises, play with the noise.
The most dangerous kind of eruption is called a pyroclastic flow. These clouds get up.
Right there, that wouldn't happen. She would just be gone already. But anyway, yeah, that would be kind of scary to see a big dust bunny coming after you. Pyroclastic flows are defined, I got this from Wright and Pearson, Living with Volcanoes. It's a book that they wrote. Wright and Pearson were two very distinguished volcanologists, but now they're dead. I think they fell into a crater or something like that. Anyway, pyroclastic flows are a mixture of hot rock fragments and gases that sweep away from their source vents at hurricane velocity. Pyroclastic flows are dense, and most are confined to valleys around volcanoes. The largest ones can travel tens or even hundreds of kilometers beyond their volcano. So this is just another picture of a pyroclastic flow. I will pass this around at the end so that people in the back can see better. I believe the people in this truck died during this picture, and the people on the other truck filmed it. So, to tell you about what a pyroclastic flow is, I'm going to have to tell you a little bit more about volcanoes. So there are four basic kinds of volcanoes. You have a cinder cone, which is magma gets belched up and it forms little tiny rocks, and those rocks pile up and you get cinders that form a cone shape. That's a cinder cone. They are typically small. You can have larger ones, but most of the time they're small. There's some great examples at craters of the moon, and they're very loosely piled up. The next form of volcano is a shield volcano. A shield volcano is when magma bubbles up from the earth, and it's very smooth, it spreads out. It's pahoehoe lava usually, which is just a very smooth, runny kind of lava. And that just builds up on top of each other. They only belch out magma. They will hardly ever have a large-scale eruption, and they're kind of the next kind of volcano. Kilauea is a great example of that. The next kind is a lava dome volcano. Lava dome volcano is when you have a cinder cone volcano and magma pools inside of the cinder cone. These will typically have very, very violent eruptions after the dome is formed because everything gets trapped in there. The fourth type of volcano is called a composite volcano. Composite volcanoes are very important to my presentation because they are what create pyroclastic flows, and they're huge. Mount Rainier is a perfect example of what a composite volcano is, and they are formed when ash and debris and magma all pile up very high. They're very densely packed, which is what makes them so big. Now, out of these four volcanoes, there's two kinds of eruptions. There's a red eruption, which is when magma just gets blasted out. It's just lava, and these are typically not too devastating. I wouldn't tell that to somebody in Hawaii who's had their house burned by it, but you can almost always walk away from a red eruption of any kind. But a gray eruption, on the other hand, that is the real devastating one. And what happens with a gray eruption is it typically happens in either cinder cone or composite volcanoes. And when it happens in a composite volcano, it's huge. Gases get trapped inside of the volcano, they swell, and eventually those gases get so hot and so compact that they explode out, and this explosion takes the majority of the volcano with it. So thousands of pounds of ash and debris are blasted up into the atmosphere, which will block out the sun. Everything will get very dusty, you'll choke, it'll get hard to breathe. You're not going to want to be there. And next what happens is, as that goes higher up into the atmosphere, the gases begin to cool down. Towards the end of the eruption, the gases will get so cold that they can no longer be up in the atmosphere, and they'll fall back to the ground. This is a pyroclastic flow. What happens is these clouds will be traveling around, I believe he said, or, oh wait, we didn't get to that part, that's not important. Anyway, they'll travel around, what was I going to say? They'll travel around anywhere from 50 to 100 kilometers an hour. So the slower ones, you might be able to drive away if you have a really, really flat, straight stretch of road. But for the most part, you're just screwed if you're in the way. So like these people from Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius was a composite volcano. It erupted in 17 AD, and it killed over 10,000 people. I get that statistic from epicdisasters.com. Anyway, it killed over 10,000 people, and these are the unfortunate victims. It filled them with searing hot pain before they died, which is not very fun, unless you like that kind of thing. And unfortunately for them, they didn't really know what it was. The Romans didn't even have a word for volcano, so they couldn't evacuate. Today, we still don't have much better equipment to tell us when a volcano is going to explode, but we can evacuate people much faster. That's the only thing you can do in the event of a pyroclastic flow heading your way. And so the best thing to do is when you see a volcano erupting, get into your car and just drive away as fast as you can. That's my presentation, and pyroclastic flows can be kind of cool, but they're also very dangerous, and thank you.